I moved to Oak Trail Ranch for peace and privacy. 40 minutes from town, surrounded by oak trees, one long gravel road, and no nosy neighbors. Or so I thought. Enter Karen Duval, self-appointed queen of the local HOA. Despite my property technically being just outside the HOA boundary, Karen took it upon herself to monitor the perimeter for violations. And by perimeter, she meant my land. She was the type to wear a whistle while watering plants and keep a folder labeled surveillance logs. The first time I met her, she handed me a printed list of strong suggestions to make my yard more community-aligned. I politely declined. That didn't sit well with her. A week later, I caught her pacing along my back fence, tiptoeing to peek through the slats. "Just making sure you're not harboring unauthorized livestock," she called, holding a clipboard. "I don't have livestock. I have a Labrador named Boomer and a smoker pit that's seen more brisket than most restaurants." After multiple incidents of her loitering by my property, I decided it was time to take a different approach. Not aggressive, but clever. The trap. See, I'd installed motion-triggered sprinklers a year ago to keep deer out of my garden. They were fast, accurate, and could hit a raccoon at 20 feet. I adjusted their angle toward the fence line and added a dummy security camera with a blinking red light right above. Then, for added measure, I placed a warning razor vines sign near the gate. No actual razor vines, of course, just some overly thorny blackberry bushes and a whole lot of bluff. Then I waited. Sure enough, 2 mornings later, I heard the faint clang of a ladder being propped against the wooden fence. I watched from my back window as Karen, clipboard in hand, phone in the other, climbed up to get a better look into my yard. Just as her head popped over the fence, boom, sprinkler jets launched a freezing blast straight to her face. Startled, she slipped. Now, I didn't wish injury on her, but karma must have been clocked in. Her ladder wobbled, and down she went, landing in a patch of muddy oak leaves with a loud oof. Her phone flew into a bush, and Boomer, being Boomer, snatched it and took off like it was a game. I rushed outside, partly to check on her, partly to retrieve my dog. Karen sat up soaked, muddy, and red-faced with fury. You assaulted me," she sputtered. "No, ma'am," I replied, pointing at the private property monitored sign. "You climbed an 8-foot fence and trespassed. Sprinklers are legal. So is that razor vine sign." The sheriff arrived 15 minutes later because, of course, Karen called 911. After some awkward back and forth, the deputy, who happened to be my cousin, confirmed that my property was outside HOA jurisdiction. She had entered it unlawfully. The trap was literally just water and a few plants. Karen was issued a trespassing citation and warned to stay away from my fence line. She argued, cried, and threatened to sue. I gave the deputy Boomer's latest find, her muddy clipboard with pages full of suspected violations, including my suspicious barbecue habits and possibly unlicensed hammock. It went into evidence. Since then, Karen's been silent. The HOA quietly updated its property boundary maps and issued a statement saying it does not support unauthorized enforcement activities. As for me, I added a new sign by the fence, warning, unlawful peeking may result in unexpected showers and public embarrassment.